Welcome everybody to Extreme Power No Handling, and today we're dealing with the 2015 Volvo S60 Polestar. Now this is an 860 horsepower, 578 pounds-feet of torque V8 engine, and the car weighs 3,512 pounds. Now couple all that power to its all-wheel drive system and it can do 0 to 60 in 2.662 seconds, 0 to 100 in 6.136 seconds, and going to a top speed of 226 miles an hour. So yeah, pretty damn quick in terms of acceleration. Top speed is pretty decent, but that won't come in into play on this track. But it also does weigh a fair bit as well, a lot more than certain other all-wheel drive cars that we've taken out on this series. So yeah, handling wise and braking wise there may be a few issues there if the car isn't up to it, but hopefully it will be, because yeah, this is one of the few modern all-wheel drive cars that left on this game that we can actually use on this series. So yeah, not many more of these left to go, so let's hopefully put in a good time. So let's see what it can do. Now I was going to stick with the original engine, but we could only get around 707 horsepower out of that, which is a lot less than we could get out of this V8. And since it is about extreme power, let's go for the higher option. Though I'm sure the standard engine with all those upgrades would still be pretty good. But this, in terms of acceleration, is obviously going to be better, more power. Pretty smooth so far. See, really rather fast. But the gearing is a bit weird, as you can see. We're only in third gear and we're doing nearly 130 miles an hour there. And yes, I've also realised just now that this is the third car in a row in this series that is blue. But, you know, maybe some of the best cars on this game are in blue from the start. It's actually the fourth car out of 5 5 episodes to be blue as well. And non-one is that Toyota Celica. The last 5. But they've all been impressive nonetheless, so maybe that's a good thing. And that's a pretty solid first lap time. 1 minute 21.431. See if we can improve upon that. So not far off now until Forza Horizon 3, so we'll have plenty more cars to play with on that. Though obviously it'll be extreme off-road silly builds and not extreme power no handling. And extreme off-road silly builds series has full upgrades on that, so we'll be able to get the most out of certain new cars on that game. So that does all depend on the kind of courses etc. on Forza Horizon 3. May well be some good street races that we can do this series on. So nothing's for certain right now. But what is for certain is that this car's putting in a good lap time. Minute 19.495. So yeah, let's see if we can improve upon that again, because I'm pretty sure the second to last corner was a bit iffy. Some improvements elsewhere that we can achieve. Because this Volvo is handling really rather well. There's no real handling issues at all, to be honest. Understeer is really not a problem. There's not really all that much oversteer despite all that extra power. The brakes are really rather good. much better. Through there. And there as well. There we go, 1 minute 19.081. Now that obviously isn't the fastest that we've ever had, nor is it the most impressive, but in terms of all-wheel drive cars, especially newer ones, that is still pretty good. It's not all that far behind, yeah, 1 minute 19.081. It's not all that far behind the Audi RS6 Avant, which is from 2015 as well as this, and the 2010 Audi TT RS. It's somewhere behind the 1998 Subaru Impreza 22B, and as well as the Cadillac CTS-V, but it is also ahead of the Renault Sport Clio, which is something that we've taken around recently, and the Mercedes-Benz A45 AMG, the Lancia Delta S4, and the Audi Sport Quattro. So yeah, they may well be mostly older cars that it's faster than, but again, it's still really rather impressive. You've got to remember this is a car that weighs more than £3,500, and yeah, was never meant for this kind of power. A lot of the cars that this car is slower than had more power than this did stock, and as well as them having it stock as well. So yeah, because the likes of the Audi RS6 Avant, for instance, had more power than this stock, the same as the Cadillac CTS-V, and so them kind of cars, even stock wise, were far more better in terms of handling power, a high rate of power, than this was. But nonetheless, it's still put in a good lap time. It probably could do better with more laps, no doubt about that, because yeah, the handling was pretty much spot on. Just got to be a bit more brave with it, because yeah, for a good lap time on this series you have to be really rather brave. And yeah, it's getting really rather close to Forza Horizon 3 like I mentioned earlier, and the Ferrari FF is still reigning at the top by more than half a second, so yeah, it's looking unlikely that we'll find a car to beat that. But I am still looking, and I am open to suggestions. Just remember that it's got to be below 5.0 in terms of handling for it to qualify for this series. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.